Now, the 5th of November, this is Lookuptv. The program is Look Up Weekend. Thank you so much for your time. Let's get started. The highlights tonight.
The news headlines in association with
Tonight on Look Up Weekend.
For the next 2 weeks, tuko na chakula ya kutosha. Lakini hapo mbele, tunataka usaidizi.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua appeals to the public for 16 billion shillings relief support in fighting famine in the country. Also tonight, thousands of passengers remain stranded at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport as Kenya Airways pilots down their tools. And
we are going to ensure that we prioritize on the children matters, the deferment cases, and it is a role of everyone from the public to the court.
Alarm in Kiambu as sexual offences cases against children significantly rise this year.
Yippee! Kamata floating at 349k. Oh yes, for only 349,000 Kenyan shillings, you become a plot owner at the Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki. The Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki is located along the Nanyuki-Rumuruti Road, only 11 minutes from the Cedar Mall and right opposite Mount Kenya Wildlife Estate. This is the best place to establish the getaway home that you have always dreamt about. For every 349,000 that you deposit or pay as installment towards any of Optivent's plot of land, you get 10k cash back instantly. Jaza basi twende Nanyuki. Bigger is indeed better.
All right, now my name is Brian Amwai. Remember, you can be part of the program tonight by engaging us on our socials at Amwai Brian on Twitter at Lookuptv. The hashtag to use tonight is Look Up Weekend. Tell us where you're watching us from, what you think about the stories that we are running today. And also, we are live on Facebook. Send us your feedback there. We'll be able to sample some of it as we continue the program tonight. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Felista Adundo. Now, let's get started. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has sent out an appeal to the public, private, international partners and humanitarian agencies to support the government in raising more than 16 billion for emergency food relief response. Now, speaking during the launch of the distribution of food and animal feeds targeting more than 300,000 residents of Kajiado County at Ilbisil Market, the Deputy President said the government requires 2 billion Kenya shillings weekly to ensure no Kenyan dies of famine.
Government so far has put 4.9 billion and we require 2 billion shillings every week. For the next 8 weeks, we need 16 billion Kenya shillings. We are therefore today launching an international appeal to our development partners, to humanitarian agencies, and our friends across the world to come to the aid and assistance of the people of Kenya. I want to tell our people that our government is responsible enough to make sure that its citizens are taken care of in this difficult time. Going forward, our development partners, in our meeting with the President on Wednesday, we also want to be realistic. This intervention is not sustainable. We must now sit down and candidly discuss mid-term and long-term solutions to the challenges that have been brought about by climate change. We must now agree that going forward, we must shift from rain-fed agriculture to irrigation and serious water harvesting.
Now, still on the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has strongly demanded that the opposition leader Raila Odinga stops interfering with the running of the Kenya Kwanza government under President William Ruto. Now, Rigathi says the time has come for the former Prime Minister to retire from politics and allow President William Ruto to peacefully run the government devoid of what he terms unwarranted criticism from the Azimio leader. And as our reporter Henry Tende now files, the second in command has once again blamed the handshake government for the ailing economy and the extrajudicial killings.
Ilbisil Market in Kajiado County provided just a fertile ground for politics. Deputy President, who was on a food distribution mission to the families hard hit by the prevailing drought, finding the occasion fit to hit out at opposition leader Raila Odinga over his claims the Kenya Kwanza government has turned the investigations into the extrajudicial killings, a revenge mission apparently targeting leaders who worked under retired President Uhuru Kenyatta. Enraged Rigathi Gachagua demanding that the former premier stops attacking the sitting government, accusing him of being part and parcel of handshake regime that oversaw the extrajudicial killings.
When these extrajudicial killings were taking place, the leader of opposition then abandoned his role to oversight government, joined the government. And the government started practicing impunity because there was nobody to check that government. He cannot now tell us of what went wrong then because he is the one who abandoned his work and his duty.
Rigathi also blaming the handshake government for the deteriorating economy, stating that there was unprecedented loss of public funds through misappropriation.
Nyinyi muachana na William Ruto afanye kazi. Huu uchumi wa Kenya huko hapa leo. Nyinyi ndio mlilete mambo ya handshake na mambo ya BBI mkaharibu Kenya. Siku tumekuja kwa serikali, tumekuta hakuna kitu. Pesa yetu yote ya Kenya, 50 billion, mlichukua mukapeleka BBI. Mukachukua 200 billion, mukapeleka project Azimio, ikazama pamoja na nyinyi.
The second in command reminding the former premier that President William Ruto needs no advice from him to run the government, while making it clear Kenya Kwanza government will only tolerate positive criticisms.
Wewe kaa kwa upinzani uulize maswali ukiwa huko. And we don't need your advice Busaya kitendawili. If we need advice, we know where to get advice, but not from you. Because you misadvised Uhuru Kenyatta and you ruined the economy of Kenya, na ukaharibu Kenya, wewe kwenda upumzike na ukae kwako nyumbani.
Moreover, Gachagua says the William Ruto-led government has elaborate plans to revive the ailing economy and has advised Mr. Odinga to sit back and be shown how to run a successful regime.
Kwa hivyo msituleche sisi, msituambie ati vile Kenya natakiwa kukaa. Wewe mzee opposition, you are co-president to Uhuru Kenyatta. All those things you are telling us to do, you had 5 years with Uhuru Kenyatta to do those things and you did not do them. Wewe kaa nyumbani uangalie vile Kenya naongozwa.
Henry Tende, Lookuptv.
All right, now that is the politics of this country. To some extent, you might not get to understand it. Now listen. Moving on, more than 10,000 passengers were stranded as Kenya Airways pilots embarked on a strike on Saturday morning. Now, Roads and Transport Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen maintained that the strike is illegal and accused the pilots of economic sabotage and trying to test the new administration, with Kenya Airways management led by Chief Executive Officer Alan Kilavuka and Chairman Michael Joseph saying the strike would irreparably damage the airline's prospects of climbing out of a deep debt by costing it 300 million Kenya shillings on a day. Cancelled and thousands of passengers stranded as pilots at Kenya Airways began a strike on Saturday, going against a court order sought by the government to have them call off the strike. The strike that started at 6 a.m. affected business and leisure travelers at the airport, with most of them stranded. The Kenya Airline Pilots Association, KALPA, say the carrier's management declined to listen to their proposals on how to resolve their grievances. In a statement released on Saturday morning, the union said, and I quote, "No KQ aircraft has departed Jomo Kenyatta International Airport flown by a KALPA member from 6 a.m. this morning. The strike is fully in force. KALPA members are exercising their right to withdraw their labor forthwith." End of quote. The Kenya Airways released a statement apologizing to the passengers affected, promising to rebook them and minimize inconveniences. It is a strike that was termed unlawful by the KQ management and one that is said will cost the airline. Kenya Airways CEO Alan Kilavuka has given striking pilots 24 hours to return to work or face disciplinary action, saying that the strike is affecting the airline financially. According to Kilavuka, the impact of the strike involving 400 pilots is 15 planes have been grounded, 10,000 passengers have been affected, 300 million shillings is expected to be lost for each day of the strike, 6,000 tons of cargo is also affected. Now, the pilots' union had said it will call a strike over a dispute of pension contributions and settlement of deferred pay for its members after a 14-day notice had passed without the airline's management addressing their grievances. KALPA issued a 14-day strike on October 19th, citing 4 reasons. 1, they want the board and executives ousted for undisclosed governance and leadership issues. 2, the airline's failure to implement pay agreement CBA. 3, alleged victimization of KALPA members and non-payment of monthly pension contributions for staff.
In defiance of the law, Kenya Airways has over the last 2 years had a chief pilot who is unqualified to hold the position as required by the KCA regulations. Despite KALPA's repeated queries, the accountable manager, Mr. Alan Kilavuka, did nothing to rectify the illegality.
Transport CS Kipchumba Murkomen had earlier held talks with the union, calling on them to suspend the strike following a court order. According to Murkomen, the pilots needed to put into consideration the investment the government is making to the airline. The pilots, however, dismissed Murkomen's allegations that the pilots are hell-bent on making sure they punish the Kenya Kwanza government, allegations that the aviators have refuted, insisting that theirs is an aim to fight for their rights. On Saturday afternoon, Kenya Aviation Workers Union rubbed salt to the injury by calling for strike by all workers under the union. The workers' strike notice was called by the Kenya Aviation Workers Union, which ordered its members from the Kenya Airports Authority to down their tools. The statement that was signed by KAU Secretary General Mos Ndiema reads, "Pursuant to the court order, this is to instruct and advise all union sub-employees of KAA to commence the strike today, November 5th, in compliance with the court order." He said the strike will only be called off once KAA satisfies all terms specified in their collective bargaining agreement CBA. KAU and Kenya Airports Authority have had a long-standing pay-related disagreement resulting in multiple disruptions in aviation operations in major airlines, including Kenya Airways. Brian Amwai, Lookuptv, Nairobi. Right, now still on that, just a statement from KALPA here on their Twitter page. They say Kenya Airways management has been spreading propaganda and painting KALPA members in a negative image. The strike is a fight for all the KQ employees, not just pilots. Good leadership and management will be in the best interest of the airline employees and the economy at large. They continue to say our members are ready to get back to work immediately with an amicable agreement in place. Now, moving on, a family in Ridgeways, Kiambu County is in agony over the murder of their son. Now, the deceased Keegan Githua was stabbed to death by thugs who were trying to steal his mobile phone. The robbers making away with valuables on a motorcycle. Githua's family is now calling on the government to intervene and deliver justice.
Walked his last on this road where he was attacked by thugs demanding to have his mobile phone. After he resisted, the thugs stabbed him severally before getting away on a motorcycle, never to be seen again.
My name is Lucy Githua. I'm the mother of this young boy I have lost Keegan Benson. Okay? He was walking on a path that he has walked many times. Okay? And somebody from nowhere, the border people, killed him. Killed him. The man who did not hurt her fly. It is so unfair. And I feel something must be done. Because at the end of the day, our children are not safe. We have lived in this area for a long time. This is home. Where do we go? So I am very upset. I appeal to all the authorities that are concerned. You need to do something. My Keegan did not go down for nothing.
Keegan, who was later rushed to hospital by a Good Samaritan, was pronounced dead on arrival. His family is yet to come to terms with his death at the tender age of 24 years, saying that he had his whole life ahead of him as he had just started working after graduating from Strathmore University.
Keegan's auntie, and really this is a big loss. It's very devastating to the family. Basically, I'm at loss for words.
And as they plan a memorial for him this coming Sunday, while making funeral arrangements at their family home in Muranga, they have asked the government to take action, saying that cases of thieves using borders have become excessive in the area.
I'm really coming to you out there for a plea because there has been a series of border thugging that is happening across our nation. I'm not here to speak so much about Keegan in as much as he's my cousin, but I'm here to appeal to any government office, county government, national government, policy makers, because families was found by a Good Samaritan, and bless her heart, and a gentleman.
Pris Kanjari, Lookuptv.
All right, now we are due for a fast break here on the program. Don't go too far. We'll be back with more. Continue engaging us on our socials. That is at Amwai Brian on Twitter, at Lookuptv. The hashtag to use this evening is Lookup Weekend. I'll see you in a few.
Hapa kazi tu inaendelea kuwasaka na kuwatambua wale ambao wanafanya kazi extraordinary na zile kazi za kujituma.
Biashara yote unaambiangwa, as long as you have a plan, you can do it. Our service is about to pressure the customer.
Mpenzi mtazamaji, hii ni hapa kazi tu.
Yippee! Kamata plotting at 349K. Oh yes, for only 349,000 Kenyan shillings, you become a plot owner at the Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki. The Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki is located along the Nanyuki-Rumuruti Road, only 11 minutes from the Cedar Mall and right opposite Mount Kenya Wildlife Estate. This is the best place to establish the getaway home that you have always dreamt about. For every 349,000 that you deposit or pay as installment towards any of Optiven's plot of land, you get 10K cash back instantly. Jaza basi twende Nanyuki. Bigger is indeed better.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
All right, now thank you so much for staying with us here on the program. Let's continue getting you updated on matters current affairs. Now, Kiambu law courts have decried the rise of sexual offences against children in Kiambu County. So far, more than 50 cases have been registered between January and October this year, with the principal magistrate describing the numbers as alarming. Marlon Orlando now reports.
As the judiciary marks the beginning of Child Service Month, a special month to focus on promoting justice for children in the corridors of justice, the trend in Kiambu County is worrying as more than 50 cases of sexual offences against children have been reported in the last 8 months.
The law is quite clear that this should not be happening, and so we are going to ensure that we prioritize on the children matters, the defilement cases, and it is a role of everyone from the public to the court to ensure that we protect these children.
Kiambu Principal Magistrate Manuela Kinyanjui called upon members of the public and organizations to collaborate in sensitizing the public on the essence of protecting children.
And it is a role of everyone from the public to the court to ensure that we protect these children. So we will educate the public on how to handle these cases, how to report them. We will educate you on how we handle them in court up to the time that they are convicted or they are sentenced.
However, they have expressed their gratitude towards the inception of the Children Act of 2022, which they believe will greatly boost the country's effort in children protection.
Kile ambacho kimenifurahisha kama msimamishi ya wakili ya kwamba sasa hicho kikundi cha watoto kimeletwa chini ya sheria ya Children's Act. Katika hii sheria pia kuna sehemu ambayo tumepewa ya legal aid, ya kwamba kila mtoto anapoletwa mahakamani ni lazima huyo mtoto awe na usimamizi wa kisheria.
Area residents have not been left out as they are offering support for the campaign. Marlon Orlando, Lookuptv.
All right, now, did you know that 30 in every 100 women use modern contraceptives? A report by Performance Monitoring for Action has revealed that there is a tremendous increase in modern contraceptives uptake in West Pokot County. Now, the report further shows that 4 out of 10 people undergo gender-based violence in West Pokot. The survey is expected to aid various stakeholders in planning programs. Cecilia Lubanga with more.
During a community gatekeepers dissemination workshop in Kapenguria, Performance Monitoring Action member Waidaka highlighted the unmet needs for contraceptives among married women has increased from 21% in 2016 to 26% in 2021.
We've been here since 2016, and we have been trying to track some of the key issues in health, including family planning. We have issues with adolescents. We have issues with violence against women and girls. And from the results that we just disseminated, we have seen there has been a tremendous increase in the use of family planning or contraceptives method here in West Pokot. Looking at where we were in 2014, as per the Kenya Demographic Health Survey, we were at around 13%. From PMA results in 2021, we are at about 30%. So that means we have made a 17% increase in use of modern contraceptives among married women.
On sexuality, Waidaka noted that 8 in every 10 adolescents are sexually active. They, however, shy away from using contraceptives to prevent pregnancy. He pointed out that there are high levels of availability of contraceptive methods, but there's a challenge of preparedness in using certain contraceptives, such as readiness to insert and remove implants.
We have seen that 8 in every 10 adolescent girls are sexually active here in West Pokot, and asking them during the last sex if they used a method of family planning or contraception or a method to prevent a pregnancy, we have seen about 6 in every 10 or 9 in every 10 never used a method to prevent a pregnancy.
The report further reveals that 9 in every 10 women learn how to use contraceptives from public facilities, and 4 out of 10 people undergo gender-based violence in West Pokot.
We usually bring this information or these results to the stakeholders that have a part to play in the field of family planning, gender, and that in terms of violation. And this data is used in terms of decision making.
Kapenguri Assistant County Commissioner Ruth Washira called on the youth-led organizations, women groups, civil societies and the media to help sensitize the community in remote areas on the vices. Cecilia Lubanga, Lookuptv.
All right, now thank you Cecilia Lubanga for that report. Moving on, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi on Saturday led the government initiative of distributing relief food to the residents of Yethui in Machakos County. Now Mudavadi, who was accompanied by Machakos Governor Wavinya Ndeti, said the hunger situation calls for urgent collective interventions in an effort to rescue Kenyans from the drought crisis in many parts of the country. This and more stories in our county roundup.
Speaking in Yethui, Mwala, Machakos County, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has said that the government will continue to cooperate with many stakeholders to ensure that they get sufficient relief food. Mudavadi emphasized that action will be taken against those who are involved in spilling chemicals into the rivers, while the plans to clean up the rivers in the area are ongoing.
Taifa letu liko kwa hali ya ukamwe, hali ya shida. Watu karibu milioni 4 wanaumia kutokana na kiangazi ambacho kimeleta tabu kwa binadamu na pia kwa mifugo, na hasara nyingi sana inapatikana katika taifa letu kwa sababu ya jangwa hili.
Governor Wavinya Ndeti revealed that cancer cases are increasing in Mwala sub-county due to the consumption of food harvested from chemically polluted rivers.
The of Machakos has got to work with the county government of Nairobi, with the national government, to ensure that we reduce pollution. Not reduce, we stop pollution in our rivers. Most of the patients I'm getting in Machakos General Hospital are cancer patients from Mwala, and it is to do with the river, the pollution of the river.
In other news, ODM officials have ridiculed the move by the 2 former ODM party members, former Kisii Governor James Amwai and Janet Ongera.
Sasa wakiama si wengine wapo? Kwani wao ndio walizaliwa pekee? We are there, tuko hapo, tunasimama imara na party.
Gaudensha Nyanganyi, ODM official, has claimed that Amwai and Ongera have benefited while they were in ODM leadership party and that they should be grateful instead of despising them. Stephen Asuma has said that even though it was their right to join a party of their choice, the rebels will realize that ODM was better in satisfying their political interests.
This party, we want to put it very clear that it is their political right under the constitution to move to whichever party they want. So what we want to say as a party is that we wish them well.
Elsewhere in Navaholo, Kakamega County, MPs have threatened to remove the chief executive of TSC, Nancy Macharia, saying that Macharia has not been fulfilling the demands of teachers in the country.
Bunge ikikataa mambo ya delocalization, mambo ya kuhamisha walimu kiolela. Mwalimu wako hapa, unampeleka CI. Gross misconduct to the leadership of Teacher Service Commission. Na hiyo ndio imenipa nguvu ya kuweka motion nyingine to impeach the CEO of the Teacher Service Commission.
Now let's report here on the program tonight. Kenyatta University team emerged the overall winners of the Cester Ball Games competition at the University of Nairobi grounds. Now the competition brought together 13 teams from different regions in the country. Now the event was graced by Argentina ambassador to Kenya, Gabriela Martinic,